We are happy to bring in now Bears legend Jim McMahon, and Kyle Turley's here as well. Awesome having you here too, Kyle.
Thank you.
What's it like hanging out with Jim McMahon? Here.
Come on, the GOAT, bro. Yeah, he's even in a wheelchair, and everybody's going around, that's Jim McMahon, that's Jim McMahon, that's Jim McMahon.
He's still hurt.
Yeah, he's still alive. Now, I'm pretty sure they're just saying he's still alive.
Well, I love that he just called you the GOAT, because I think that, for me at least, that holds as far as pure winner, going to do whatever it takes on the field, and somebody that in the biggest moments is going to come through. I mean, that was you, Nine. That was you all day, so congrats.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed my time. I enjoyed hanging out with my guys, especially my old linemen. I know where my bread's buttered. If those boys don't like you, they can make life miserable for you.
What was that?
I was lucky I had a good relationship with my old line.
What night did you guys go out and have fun? Was that Monday?
Thursday nights was our night out with the linemen, and we had some legendary times. And Fridays were always a tough practice because Dicka found out what we were doing on Thursday night, so Friday became our live goal line and scrimmage day.
Oh, wow.
So, it was not too much fun on Fridays, but Thursday nights was fun.
You were close with Van Horn or?
Van Horn, Becker, Tommy Thayer lived across the street,
Yep.
Jimbo Covert. Of course, Hilgenberg, I had my hands up his butt for 6 years, so him and I were pretty tight.
I love Hilgy. So I didn't realize, so we were just talking here before we started this interview, that Andy Reid was your tackle in college.
Yeah. Andy came in from a JC, I believe, in 1978 or 79. And, I played with him 2 years. He was a lot thinner back then. I was kind of wishing that he was as big as he was in Philly back in college. It would take him a little bit longer to get around him, but no. Andy was always a gritty player, tough, smart player. He's done a great job as a coach. I was with him in Green Bay when we won the Super Bowl 31, and the following year he became the quarterback coach when the year I retired. He actually called me and said, "Hey, please come back and help me with Brett." Like, I was just there for a year and a half. He doesn't need any more coaching from me. I said, you guys, take it on your own here. I'm done. I got a ring from the two oldest franchises in the league. I think it's time for me to quit.
I still feel like there's a lot of people that don't realize you got a ring with the Packers. And, of course, there's the legendary story of you wearing the Bears jersey, right, to the White House. How is that received from your teammates?
Well, I explained it to all my teammates and all the coaches before we went to the White House. I said, look, we didn't get to go back in the day. I had to explain it why, because I was playing with guys that were in junior high back when we won. And so I explained, hey, you guys remember the space shuttle blowing up? Oh, yeah, kind of. I said, well, that's why we didn't get to go to the White House. And so I think they could have snuck us in there somewhere in between those 11 years prior. But, so I went with the Packers. I explained to all my teammates and coaches that I was going to represent our team. And really the only guy that got upset was our defensive coordinator, Fritz Shermer. And I realized he got mad because he was the defensive coordinator for the Rams back when we beat them to go to the Super Bowl in '85. So it brought back some bad memories for Fritz. But everybody else was fine with it. Maybe a few Packer fans were upset, but I explained to them too. So if they're still pissed, that's their problem.
Why don't we just stamp it one more time? First of all, Green Bay has no right to be mad. You were a Bear through and through. This was the after act. You're there to help them out. But come on, you were a part of the greatest team of all time. You feel that way to this day? No. On their best day.
Well, I've said before I wouldn't hesitate to line up against anybody that's played this game with that team. Yeah. I mean, we not only did we have great players, we had a lot of great personalities, but we had a different scheme as well, and people had a tough time picking that up. Joe Gibbs was really the first coach that figured out how to beat us. Block 8 guys and run 2-man routes, and that's basically what they did. But, it was a special team. Unfortunately, we only won once, but, hell, we won a lot of ball games in that 5-year stretch.
Top 3 all-time in a 5-year stretch, that Bear team. And if you were on the field more, you feel like you would have been.
I don't think there would have been a doubt, But I played as much as I could play.
No doubt.
I played a lot of times where I shouldn't have played, but, my thing was if I can walk on the field, I'm going to play. And the guys around me knew that. And so they were always, had my back.
I mean, I remember I was 11 years old, I think, when you guys played the Raiders, and I think you lacerated your kidney in that game. It was one of the most physical NFL football games that, at least in my memory, that I've ever seen. That was, I mean, it's pure violence.
That was a brutal football game. There's no doubt about it. We knocked out, I think Mark Wilson was their starter first. We knocked him out, and then David Humm came in, and I don't think he ever played another down of football after that game. Mark was supposed to, or actually Ray Guy, they had warming up to come back in that game, and Ray said, I'm not going in there. they made Wilson go back and play because he saw everybody getting carted off. That was a tough, and that's where I tore the bottom part of my kidney off in that game too. So
just the bottom part.
Just
of
the
your
bottom
kidney.
part.
Just the bottom.
Yeah, it still works. I mean, the other half works.
Yeah, the top part's more important.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys, this is cool that you guys are working together because Kyle, I mean, this is the first time I'm ever meeting you, but I think of you in a similar way, just kind of a hard-nosed, edgy player. Like, I could see how you guys would hit it off with each other, and you've had a remarkable post-playing career, too. And you both have great memories at the Superdome, too.
This plant brings a lot of people together.
Yeah. That's right, man.
That's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah.
So it's Revenant MJ. You guys are not just, advocates of cannabis, but trying to actively help other players who can benefit from this. You're also working with Evan Britton, who I got to know covering the Bears. He was in Chicago.
That's right.
And he's been very, very vocal. I want to. It's like the second he stopped playing, I feel like he was all over this stuff. So tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, actually got the call from my agent. Eben and I have the same agent. He said, KT, I got a guy for you. He needs some help. He's struggling, coming out of a lot of injuries and things, and coming out of the league, and he wants to get into the cannabis stuff. I'm sending my way. And Eben came to the first conference that was actually a big thing. It was here, actually, ironically, in potentially this building right here. The first cannabis convention that was on a large scale in a convention center was in Arizona. The Meta Group put that on here. It's a great local group. Arizona is one of the best states for recreational cannabis and the progression of it. And it was the first time where athletes got together to talk about this collectively. And it was at first just me. And I called up Ricky Williams. Got Eben hit me up through my agent, our agent. Said he's going to go, and I hit Jim up. Jim, can you come? And so these guys all came to the first meeting of having collectively a group of athletes talk about cannabis in a positive light and that it needs to happen. And here we are again, almost 10 years later, we're back here at the Super Bowl in Radio Row being able to talk about this now and push the NFL to stop testing, period, because it saved my life, Jim's as well. This is a real thing, and we have all the science now to talk about it as well, that the cannabinoid system is the number one regulatory system in the human body. Like, why didn't I know about that, right? These NFL doctors parade themselves as smart people. Why don't they know about that? I had to give a whole full presentation to these guys in Marina Del Rey at the top of the Marriott Hotel. The entire medical staff of the NFL and all these guys, they invited these big companies that are publicly traded. And I was able to get in under the radar with my CBD company. And they were surprised when I show up. They thought it was some guy from a CBD company. And it was me. And I give a full PowerPoint presentation. After the end of it, they tell me I'm right, and it's going to take some time. And this is military doctors and all these people that are part of the NFL. And a very private thing. And they stopped now for 2 years now, haven't suspended a player for marijuana after that meeting. But they just put a thing in place where they're going to take up to 3 games pay if you test over 150 nanograms, which is the IOC level, which Sha'Carri Richardson tested positive over. So you could have a game like the Super Bowl and have your starting quarterback test over 150 nanograms for marijuana, and now he can't play in the game. That's ridiculous. We got to just stop this and end the testing altogether.
Right, and back in the day, Jim, what would they give you after a game? Here, take my shoulder's killing me. Here, what were they? A horse needle and whatever else, right?
They'll hand out as
they
many
still
pills.
Do that.
Yeah,
you can take as many pills as you want. They're readily available. But they do nothing but mask pain. They don't do anything for your body, whereas cannabis is actually, it's a neuroprotectant, it's an anti-inflammatory. It heals so many things in our bodies because we have receptors for it. We're supposed to be using this.
Yeah, you guys are short on time, so you're getting out of here, but I got to have Nine just talk about, Bears fans want to hear what you think of Justin Fields, what you're seeing so far 2 years in.
Well, I've been saying this all morning. I don't watch much. So I haven't. I think I might have seen him play a series.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't follow the game a hell of a lot. I just know he was a heck of a college player. He's got a lot of talent. He can run. I've seen him run. Hell, be nice to have that kind of speed, but you shouldn't have to be running like that if you're a quarterback.
Let me ask you a different way. How long did it take you to see the field to the level that you needed to see it to be successful, where you just felt like, I know exactly where my guys are?
Well, that's all the coaching I had in college. I think I was way ahead of the game when I got to the pros, because all I did in college was throw the ball. And most colleges at that time were handing the ball off. And you don't learn a whole lot as a quarterback if you turn your back to the line of scrimmage all the time, handing the ball off. You don't know what's going on over there. But I was able to get this coaching that I had at BYU, where everything was second nature. I'd have to see once, and I know what they're going to do. To me, it was always very simple. They can always send one more than you can block, right? In theory, right? We call it having a hat on a hat. You get this guy's got this guy, and there's always one guy that you can't block. And if you can figure out who that is, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. And to me, it was never that hard, because if the guy who's free is 8 yards deep, I'm not even worried about him. The ball's going to be gone.
And then the Bears drafted you, the greatest Bear quarterback of all time, in my opinion. And then George Halas told you that you were, what did he say about you?
I was too short, had a bad eye, bad knee, that I probably should go to Canada. That was his first words to me.
Come on, old man.
You should be like, well, terrible draft pick then. What were you doing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And he already had a contract for me. And I'd been drafted 5 hours before, and I just saw one number.
Yeah.
And I rolled it up, and I said, I ain't signing that. I threw it at him, and I walked out. That was my first meeting with Papa Bear.
Wow.
That's awesome.
legendary.
Crazy.
But I ended up having to sign that thing I rolled up at him. He unwrinkled it. He unwrinkled it for me, and I had to sign that damn thing.
Bud Light in the limo.
Bud Light in the limo.
Bud Light in the
That's
limo.
right.
The first class of the Bear organization.
Jim, it's always fun talking to you down here. Kyle, nice
Yeah,
meeting
thank
you.
y'all so
You
much.
guys
Thanks
keep,
for having us.
keep fighting the fight. NFL
Yeah.
will come around.
RevenantMJ.com, RevenantMJ.com, recovery-focused company dedicated to serving those who are searching for the opportunity to address illness and injury through cannabis. Check it out, RevenantMJ.com.
And we're going to have our golf event on Friday coming up.
First annual,
Anthem
every
Country
Super
Club.
Bowl following. Full cannabis consumption.
Full
golf
consumption.
event.
So if you don't know where Anthem is, just follow the cloud.
Yeah, it'll be right up the hill. Yeah, see us.
All right, guys. Thanks so much.
Thank y'all so
All right,
much.
guys.
Appreciate
Thanks,
you.